Hey YouTube clan, welcome back to yet another video from Tychonders, and we're having a look at 3 more figures. Now these are all figures from the same franchise. They're actually from the same video game as well. So these are 3 more Witcher figures from the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt video game. So before I go on the figures, I'll grab the boxes quickly and go through the boxes. So there is, as you can see, 2 versions of Geralt that I am going to take a look at. So if I just move them into the background there, they have different armor. So the box for this one is the first one, which I believe is the one on the right hand side. So it's just the kind of first iteration of Geralt that you see, or that McFarlane have released. The other one is this Eredin Black Glass, I think is how you pronounce his name. I'm not too familiar with the names of the characters too much. I'll just pan my camera up a small bit so I can see it. So it's Eredin Black Glass, I think is how you pronounce it. I could be butchering the name of it. I mainly just picked him up because the figure looked pretty cool. I don't know much about his history, character background, or anything like that. All I know is he's from the Witcher 3, the Wild Hunt video game. So he comes in, they all come in the same standard packaging, except with the only differences is the name of the character is on the bottom of the boxes, and there's an image of the character that you get in the boxes on the back. And then the last box I'll bring in. Now, both Geralts have the Geralt of Riviera have their stands in the boxes. I didn't bother taking those out. It's the exact same stand that comes with every figure. So I'll take a quick look at that when I look at the one that came with Eredin. But then you have Geralt of Riviera, and on the side of the box for this one, it's slightly different because it says it's wolf armor. So I'm assuming it's either armor set that you can get to upgrade him with, or it's one that he picks up later in the game. I'm not too sure. But if you bear with me a moment, I'm just going to chuck the boxes aside, out of the way, and I'll get cracking on the figures. So, as aforementioned, they come with the base. They all come with the same base. I just need to move my camera down a touch. Bear with me a moment. So they all come with this very same base. Just has the Witcher 3 logo on it. And if I can get one of the other bases that I moved away earlier. So it's the exact same thing that most McFarlane lines come with. This is the one that came with Vexalia. This is the DC one that came with the DC Multiverse figures. Again, all the same base. Only difference is it has the logo for the franchise, that particular franchise, on the base. So Warhammer 40,000 has the 40k logo. The Avatar one has the Avatar logo, and so on and so forth. So basic standard black base. Each character has 2 peg holes on the bottom of their feet, so you can plug the foot into one, well, into the only peg hole on the base. But overall, it's pretty much a standard base. So on to Eredin. We'll go with Eredin first, and then I'll go through the 2 Geralts. So Eredin is sort of he almost looks like a black knight, or, you know, like an evil chaotic knight kind of character. Again, don't know much about him. I just like the way the design and sculpt is. He has these kind of tabard pieces coming down that are soft plastic piece. His shoulder pauldron is a softer plastic. Now it does get in the way of his articulation for his right hand, or his right arm, I should say. The left arm gets all the standard articulation. It even has the bicep swivel. It is hidden, but it is there. It's kind of a weird design. It's not a full cloak, and this piece looks like it should be part of this tabard piece, or this cloak piece, but it's not. You can see this kind of bone armor kind of thing is kind of going up his back as well, which is pretty cool. He has this cool skull-like helmet. I'm assuming it's a helmet. I don't think it's his actual head. It looks more like a enclosed helmet with a skull plate. I could be wrong. He does have hair coming out underneath it, so it looks like it should be a helmet. He has these kind of rib armor pieces, and then underneath it there's even more. It looks like it's done like muscle or musculature underneath the armor, or the armor is made of muscle. It reminds me a lot of the red armor that Dracula wears in the 90s Bram Stoker's Dracula movie, the one with Gary Oldman. In the start of that movie, he has like this really cool red armor set on it. It looks like it's made of, designed to look like sinew and muscle, which is really cool. Kind of has that vibe to it. He has accents of gold. The red they use isn't a strong red. It's kind of a very, I would say, almost light red. It's not like a dark, deep wine-colored red or anything like that, but it is quite a nice color. It's like a magenta, but it is quite nicely done. He does have a ab crunch. Now, it is a slight bit hindered by his armoring, but you do have a good twist. He should have waist twist as well. This section here is all kind of one piece. So this kind of is a softer rubber piece over a torso. He does have the splits like on all the other McFarlane figures. He has a slight bit of a thigh swivel, which isn't too bad. And then you have this. He does have a single jointed knee instead of double jointed because of the way the knee is designed. He does have a slight twist at the knee as well. It's not actually the knee twists. Where it twists is actually where the knee connects onto the shin armor. And then he has the rocker joint ankle bits with the toe articulation. His hands have the standard ball joint with the hinge. What's nice about it is that his hand, they painted the ball joint part silver, so you don't get to see the joint as much. And his only accessory other than the base is this pretty cool big sword. Now he can hold it two-handed. It is designed so he can hold it two-handed. It is a bit of a trek to try and get him to do that with two hands, but it is possible to do it. If I just try and manipulate the hands enough to actually get him to hold it in two hands. The handle is designed to have, it looks big enough to have two hands gripping it. So it's going to be a bit of a chore to do. If I can wiggle it through his offhand. I know this is probably off camera, so bear with me a moment. I'm going to see if I can get it in to his left hand. It is a bit of a chore, but it should be doable. I think it is. I could be wrong. He has two grip hands. Actually, it's a bit tighter in this hand. I think it's actually really designed for one hand. It looks like it should be two-handed, especially with the length of the handle. It looks like he should wield it with two hands. Maybe, just maybe, might be able to get a slight two-handed pose. He might be able to simulate a two-handed pose at least. But his head is on a ball joint as well. It is a bit hindered by his hairpiece. But overall, it's quite nice. Oh, and the left arm does rotate all the way around. The right arm doesn't because of this piece here. You can see the armor is different. You can see his normal armor underneath the cloth piece here, whereas this one is completely covered. It does have where the edge of the cloth has, extended. You can see there's like a black piece. It looks like that should be the same color red as that armor, but it's not. It's just done in black. It could be just the way he is designed. It could be just something they omitted just because of the paint application. I'm not too sure, but overall, he's a pretty cool figure, and he does stand well enough without the base. So we'll get on to Geralt. Geralt, the standard version. Oh, actually, I am missing one accessory from one of the Geralts. I think it is the... If I'm not mistaken, it is the wolf armor one came with a flame attachment for an alternate hand. Unfortunately, if I dig that out, I might do a quick update with this video and have it added. But the standard version of Geralt it has 3 accessories other than the base. So he comes with this head, severed head, which I believe is supposed to be some sort of either werewolf or maybe kind of or like a warg, something along those lines. It's a very cool severed wolf style head, and you see it has like battle scarring on it, and it's flip it around, it's like a fresh cut head. It has tongue, the teeth hanging to the side. It's very well detailed. And then the other 2 accessories he has are 2 swords. The swords that he comes with are the exact same swords that comes with the wolf armor version. So I just pull them out. I'm just going to pop them up the back there. He's probably going to knock everything over. But as far as I can see, the swords are all identical. The only difference is that there's a slight difference in the paint application. Actually, I stand corrected. The sword is actually slightly different. The 2 long swords are the same. His other swords are different. So there's like a half moon shape hilt on this one, and there is a kind of double snake head on this one from the looks of it. So there's a slight difference in the swords. I thought they were actually exactly the same. So there's an interesting thing I didn't actually notice at first. But they are very similar in design, and they're about the same length. In fact, these ones should be the exact same length, because I think it's the exact same sword. So I just throw those back in, and I bet you now I'm going to actually mess up whose sword goes with who. So I think... just move that the right way around. I think the half sword or half moon sword hilt went with him. So bear with me one moment. I just double check it. The half moon sword goes with the wolf armor. So this sword goes with him, and this one goes with him. Boop. He does come with a scabbard on the back. It is removable on both figures, I believe. Actually, I'm not sure if this one is removable. Yes, the scabbards for swords are removable on both figures. You can sort of position them the way you want. It does look a bit weird when you do have them take it off, because the actual back of the scabbard is exposed, which makes it easier for taking the sword, putting the sword in and out, mainly because if it was a full enclosed scabbard, sometimes if it's made of a certain plastic, it will bend the sword. McFarlane did do this with the Deathstroke figure as well, so there is that. The wolf armor figure is quite nice. Again, he comes with a severed head. This time it is of I believe it's supposed to be a griffin, something along those lines. So it's very bird shaped with a lion's mane. So I'm assuming it's supposed to be some sort of either griffin or hippogriff or something along those lines. And then you have the figure itself. Now, from what I can tell, the heads on both figures are the exact same head. I don't think they share any other parts other than the head. Even like everything else is completely resculpted. The armor is completely different armor set. The gloves, the gauntlets, the boots, all those are all different. As I said, I am missing one of the accessories for this guy. If I remember correctly, he did come with a flame accessory, as far as I know, and kind of a firebolt hand, which has like I think it's the left or the right hand, I'm not sure which one it is, but it has like a big flame effect coming off it. Because the Ciri figure, which I have just here, came with a battle effect as well. She had like a sword slash. I have done a review video for Ciri already. I'll just pop her into the background so you can see her in scale with the other figures. She had like a bluish kind of blade swipe effect. The original Geralt didn't come with any other accessory other than that severed head and swords. He didn't come with an effects piece, but the wolf armor one does. So articulation wise on these guys, They're pretty much the same, so his arm can rotate all the way around. It's not too hindered by the shoulder pauldrons because they are done in a softer rubber plastic. His arm can move up that much. It can rotate at the bicep. He has dual jointed elbows and a same wrist hinge system. He has a ab crunch. It does get in the way of his armor because this entire piece is one big kind of rubberized piece, unlike Eredin's one. They didn't separate the top torso from the bottom, so it is one piece. He does have waist swivel. He does have the hinge at the ankle, or sorry, not ankle, the hip, so you can kick forward, kick back. He doesn't have much in the way of thigh swivel. He does have dual jointed knees, so he can get a good bit over 90-degree bend. He has those rocker joints in the legs, and he has a hinge. So we'll just get cracking on the other figure. Okay, and let's get on with the wolf armor figure. Now, through the magic of editing and jump cuts and whatever, I went and got his accessory that I was missing as well. So this is the wolf armor version. Again, as I said, the head is the same. Head is actually on a ball joint as well as the other figure. His head gets good range of movement on both figures, even though he has the long hair at the back. It is a kind of softer gummy piece, so it doesn't get too bogged down with the armor. Again, this one has the armor that is a bit more, it's still a sort of gummy section as well, but it doesn't go cover the shoulder as much as the other ones, so he does get a bit more range of movement in the arm. He still can only go up that much. It is quite nicely done how they hid the bicep swivel. It is just where the cut of the chainmail and the clothing is. Again, double jointed elbows. Same thing with the wrist and the swivel. It's his left hand has the blast effect. So you just pop the hand out, pop the hand on, and you get like a flame burst effect for Geralt. Again, it's pretty easy just to pop back out and put the hand back on. He has two grip hands. What's interesting is the right hands tend to have like a more trigger finger look to them than the lefts. It's just the way they're sculpted. I think it's just kind of a default thing that they do. And then you have the ab crunch. Again, it is there. You can go crunch forward, back. He has waist swivel. He, again, just like with the other version of Geralt, his chest armor isn't separated into an upper and lower section. He does have the waist swivel. He does have the splits. You can do the splits a little bit more than the other one because this piece doesn't come down as much. He does have no thigh swivel. He has the double jointed knees, so he can crunch his leg up that much. Again, all these figures have the peg holes, so they will fit on the base. If you have, there's only one peg on the bases, so you have to pick and choose which side you want the foot to go onto. But you have the same rocker joint, ankle, so he has that, and then the toe articulation. So again, he has all the same articulation as the other version of Geralt. You can get some good action poses with these guys. Overall, I quite enjoy this line. And if we can just get my measuring tape, I'll just bring it in quickly so you can see the heights of these guys. And I'm just going to get this guy into a bit more neutral pose so I can bring everyone back, so I can get some heights going. So they should all stand around a 6-inch. The figures themselves are around 6. Series a little bit smaller, and I believe, just bring it up behind him. He's just a hair over 6 inches, or sorry, 7 inches, because of the height of the prongs on his helmet. Now, these guys do stand over the 7-inch. I think I was saying 6 inch, but forgive me for that. 7 inches. He does with the swords on their back at a certain height. You'll have them over the 7 inch. But if you want, you can angle it so that the head is actually higher than the swords. That's the one positive thing about these scabbards. They are positional, so if you're kind of getting stuck for space on the figure or on the shelf, you can kind of slide it sideways, so it doesn't take up as much room. Overall, they're really cool figures. Now, I know there is the Netflix versions of the Witcher series have figures out at the moment. I haven't picked up any of those. I do want to get some of the creatures. I think, as far as I know, there is another figure for the Witcher 3 line, which is a giant. It's like a mega figure. Again, I haven't picked that up yet. I probably will at some point. It's just getting the price together for it at the moment is a little difficult. I'm trying to save stuff as well. But overall, it is a really good line. They have some really cool figures. The sculpting is pretty much dead on from what I've seen of the video game. So there is an alternate version of Ciri with kind of blue. It looks like the same figure, but with more blue on her. So, and I think there might be one other new version. There's an alternate version of this costume with different paint application, which I think they have the blue as well. There's slightly different version of this costume. I'm not sure if it comes with any extra accessories other than the wolf head. I think it may come with a blast effect, possibly. I'm kind of hoping it does, because it would make it a little bit more exciting instead of just a straight up repaint. But overall, these figures are pretty cool. Really good for if you want any sort of fantasy based characters. Even as I said with my previous review for the Legends of Vox Machina, the more they expand that franchise out, you can pop those figures in with it. And again, these guys will fit in quite nicely with the Princess Bride kind of figures as well, because they have a kind of similar, they are a bit more fantasy based, but they're kind of similar feel to them. So if you want to do diorama setups with those, I'm sure there's other figure lines out there that have kind of fantasy based figures in the 7 inch line that you could throw figures into as well. I think it's Mythic Legions do 7 inch as well. I could be wrong, they could be 6, but I think Mythic Legions actually do 7 inch figures. I don't have any of those, but I know the Four Horsemen used to do a few different lines of 7 inch style fantasy based figures. So overall, if you're wanting to add stuff in or get creatures to put up against Geralt and Ciri for like diorama shots and stuff like that, you go that route. But overall, really good figure set. I picked these guys up at Big Bad Toy Store, and I think most of them are still available at the moment. I'm not too sure about this one, but I know the standard Witcher 3 Geralt figures are, and I think there is at least one version of the Ciri figure is available at the moment at the time of this recording. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review. Now, I know it's a bit wishy-washy at place in spots, but I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you found it entertaining and informative. And as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.